This is why we play video games, okay? It's still here! It's still doing it! Okay. Okay. He's like halfway through the door, dude. The gun has an bullet left. Yep. Yep, that's correct. This is exactly how it goes. I don't even know what to say about that. This game never stops giving. There will always be some new silly ass way for it to go wrong. Yo. Oh, okay. That's fine. What the fuck? Why is she so easy to take down with these wall kicks? It's a wall kick, for fuck's sake. That shouldn't be a thing. What a start. What a fucking start, dude. We just got here. Oh, well then I don't really have a chance, do I? Damn it. So during all that, these guys down here, they're supposed to be chasing me. But they can't, because I phased through that gate. Great. I can go down there and say hi, though. What's up, guys? How are you? What?
Hello, hello. Man, sometimes when I look at some of my really old highlights and like actually see activity in the chat, I'm not sure I like what I see, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like, what the fuck is going on in there? So I spent some hours yesterday going through all the previous areas and mapping everything out and collecting all of the collectibles and shit. I'm also working on dark kills and spell kills. I wouldn't have wanted that anyway. The other thing that I was working on, but then again, this is something that I can knock out whenever, is... So, I've completed the challenge for doing encampments. But I was working on random encounters, and... so I would need, what, 39 more of those and 7 more of these. Well, we also got Osugul, or Osugul, whatever. We've got the next major map to go to, which is happening soon. Is the audio set up correctly right now? Hold on. Yes, okay, whatever. Also, I did go grind for a few things on my Zerker to give to this character, and one of them was a Slip and Stone. Unfortunately, it's Spore Warden power rather than Blight Collar power, but it is what it is. What it is. What? How did that miss? What? You fucking sack of shit, dude. Because I'm noticing more and more in certain areas, there's like ledges that aren't ledgy enough. It's like there's places that you should be able to just volley over, but you can't because the ledges aren't ledgy enough. enough, they're too round, or not protruding enough, or whatever the fucking excuse is. Oh, come on, dude. Anyways, I think we'll finish with the dungeons and then we'll go to Usible. And then Nightmare is gonna get, like, next level bullied. What? There's a a challenge for killing 5 enemies at the same time with a spell that I did accidentally because of one of these coils. I never remember which coil it is, but one of them, or maybe more than one of them, is capable of making shadow clones. That's not what I was looking for. And that shit, like, I didn't know that those counted as, like, viable enemies. I kind of figured that they would be, like, some kind of null. But no, they count. And when the enemy made shadow clones, I was already in the process of winding up a laser, so I went ahead and popped it, and boom, there goes all 5. Well, all 5 plus the target. So I figured I was gonna have to, you know, do something specific for that, but nah, this just worked out eventually. Yes. Okay. Yes. I know that that one resists fire damage, but it's the fucking laser hand. Bonk. Oh, right there. Those were shadow clones. I fired a bit early for the effect I'm talking about, though, but still. Like, I was trying to line up the two actual enemies. That's why I fired when I did. Because I was pretty sure I'd hit both of them at the same time. Good. I'm not sure how many more kills I need for the spells thing. Probably over 100 if I was to guess. Not my full inventory. Shit. The hell was that sound? Oof, that was so good. I guess I should make sure that it's not one that I already have. Okay, cool. Or rather that it is one I already have, because if I didn't already have it, I should go ahead and go through the process of getting it. Anyway, since I was doing this at the same time, getting all of the collectibles on the overworld was a lot more of a gargantuan task than I would have expected. Okay. I feel when things are just going so well that there's not, like, a real need to be involved. Bruh. I have a tendency to clobber people that are being evasive instead of, like, focusing on my, my actual needs for progress. I hate to tell you that that's not exactly a winning strategy hiding behind an explosive barrel. Oh, okay, so speaking of Bimani, I recently reviewed the Beatmania 2DX Resident soundtrack. I don't know why the hell they would have called the mix Resident, but whatever, that's not the point. The point is, holy shit, that was one of the worst music and rhythm game soundtracks ever. And I'm including, like, knockoff-ass soundtracks in that list. I don't understand how that would, like, there was 2 passable tracks in it and a whole lot of, like, total garbage. And, like, I see what happened design-wise. They they emphasize the difficulty over the music sounding good. Because, Christ, like, that series, like, particularly, like long-running 2DX players who may or may not care about the part of this that I'm complaining about. I don't know. But, like, the ones that are in it for the difficulty, like, they need a challenge. I get that. But, like, some of that was just noise. It was like somebody sitting at a keyboard just mashing on the keys at random to justify difficulty. It was so fucking bad. Like, I think the soundtrack was like 4 discs worth. Not that that matters all that much, because like I said, there were 2 passable tracks, that's it. And I mean, of course, one of those tracks was Dirty Androids, because they know how to make music. But a lot of it was just, like, so agonizingly painful to listen to. I genuinely was just... Like, when you're playing a music and rhythm game, you should feel at one with the music. The two, the notes, and the music should all come together in a wonderful harmony that makes the experience altogether a fun one. That's how music and rhythm is supposed to work. But in this game, it was almost like the relationship between you and the music has more of an adversarial relationship. I genuinely, like, when I was done with it, I genuinely could not get over how bad it was. And, like, I've had other soundtracks that kind of, you know, gave me that same kind of vibe, like, how did it suck this bad? But I think that that's probably the worst one I've had to review so far, and I did not expect the worst reviewed soundtrack ever to come by way of Bamani. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I've had soundtracks with 0 fully approved tracks in it that I thought were overall better soundtracks than that. We're not grinding these guys right now. No way in hell am I going to try to do like almost 40 of these right now. But if they're here, I'm certainly not going to ignore it. I shot that dude's shins clean off. It's real weird to me that you can just go up to the thing that says melee, but you can just hit the E key. It's fine. You don't have to get schmancy, you can just interact with it. The other thing I'm always on the lookout for out here is mimics. It's like out here, these chests right here, it's relatively common for them to just be mimics. Anyways, I know I've said this before, but the playlist, like the issue with my Winamp playlist where it will sometimes not show some of the symbols properly I think I have a proper fix for that now. Let's fucking hope, because, bruh, I'm so over this. Like, it's pissing me off so much that I was at a point where I'm like looking at other programs to do with what I'm doing with Winamp. And it's such like a niche scenario, and it's not Winamp's fault, because like how could the people who developed that, how could they possibly know that I was going to pair it with the stream music display, and that the two of them together were not going to make nice sometimes. They could never possibly know that, so Winamp ought not be blamed. Having said that, God damn it. Like, I can tell you what the problem is that Winamp doesn't natively save, like, unique symbols to the metadata for tracks. It saves it in, like, plain text. And so, like, Japanese symbols, or, like, the Bimani has some tracks that are just labeled with 5 like music symbols. Those don't show up normally. And so in Winamp it'll just display them as question marks until it loads it in. And then when the song starts to play, it swaps that metadata out with the proper symbols, because it then reads the tags for the actual track, which is fine. All of those interactions work. The problem is that sometimes, but not always, the stream music display grabs the information before the tags get loaded properly, and that's when you guys on stream will see the question marks instead of the actual title. Dick. Well, title or author, whatever. Either or. Oh, God, I hate it, dude. They do that shit like they're getting in their daily steps or something. At the very least, let's grab it. I don't know what in the hell she thought she was at. There were no enemies that way, mate. Or no one for you to attack anyway. I don't know if that was the laser hand or not. Oh. I wasn't even sure where the damn enemy was. Anyways, as you can imagine, this is a pretty fast way to get my inventory full and having to sell shit again and again and again. Oh, as a result from the latest potential fix to the playlist issue, the playlist was reset, so yeah. When ward is not full. Nah. Yeah, I try to make sure that the music cycles a certain way so we don't hear the same tracks too much. You know, give them all a fair shake. Do I not have any rings in here at all? I could have sworn that I set at least one ring aside. Oh, a melee ring. Why did I do that? Alright, I need 79 more spell kills, at which point I'm going to continue to have my spell is going to continue to be the laser hand. It's going to continue to beat it. But I'm going to stop focusing on getting laser hand kills. That shit is so helpful. Keep doing it. As a rocket launcher, I don't even care what it was. Oops. Oh man. Laser hand. The boss enemy arrived, and before I even saw what the boss enemy was, they were gone. Fuck. How many more of those do I need? 2 more. Oh, sure. Yo, what's up, Crimmy? There is a Zana on your screen. Technical difficulties. There's a Zana on my screen. See me to the cursed device. The latest patch. Oh no. You've fallen for the honey trap. How are we doing? We're doing. What are you doing up at this hour? Are you pulling the vampire hours like I am? Ah. You know, I always wondered why it was called the graveyard shift when crypt shift was right there. Maybe it's because they couldn't say it 5 times fast, you know what I'm saying? Ha! Got it. I used to work an overnight shift at an Amazon warehouse prior to my awareness of how shit Amazon is / the horrible effects that they have on the world in general. Oh, dude, that was so good. Anyways, so we were the night shift. We got a lot done. In fact, in comparison to the day shift, we got roughly 80% of all of the numbers in the building. I don't know what in the fuck day shift we're up to. Nothing good, apparently. They didn't know how to get shit done. But yeah, I nearly 100%ed a song, and then I nearly full perfect comboed something that I didn't even expect to pass, so improvements have been made. Oh, you're currently at work. I see. That makes sense. Enjoy your lurks, sir. As much as you can whilst doing, you know, work-related tasks. What the hell? Was that the last one? That was the last one. I've always preferred getting things done overnight. I think in the middle of the day there's too many distractions. Like, people fucking try to interact with you during the day. What the hell? Better than the first one. Is the sex offender still involved? I always forget that dude's name. The Rick and Morty guy. Maybe I should forget his name. Horrible piece of shit isn't worth having in my brain box. SMG stuff. I mean, it would seem to me that if you had a project that had somebody from Rick and Morty involved, that like a very reliable means of improving the overall quality of the project is to remove anything Rick and Morty related. I'm not sure I would end up touching the series just from, like, the, you know, the unfortunate poison from the original, but I am glad to hear that the dickhead is no longer involved and that the second game is an improvement over the first. Those are good pieces of news. You know what else is a good piece of news? Now, I don't know if this is true or not, and the reason I question it is because it would imply that our government has decided to do something that would actually be smart and useful, which you can see why I'm skeptical of the very concept of that. There is a slight bit of rumblings about the possibility that the US government has decided to excise Tencent from all US companies, which would be an incredibly intelligent thing to do, again, which is why I have no faith it's actually happening. It'd be real nice if it did, though. No laughing, alright? Anyway, since I did spend some hours catching up all of the maps and collecting all of the other collectibles, we're gonna go ahead and get this one done all in one. Unlike the rest of the maps, I'm actually going to map this one out and collect everything. So, I feel like I've probably asked you and been told like 3 or 4 times by now, but what is it that you do for work again? That you're able to watch streams on the side. I used to be able to do that when I was a game tech at Free Play Arcade, because usually what we would do is, like, if there was something broken on a game, instead of, like, working on it out on the... I mean, there are certain games you have to work on out on the floor, but there's enough things that can break that you can just take the broken thing out of the machine and bring it into the office, and I just have, like, whatever stream playing. But that was also from back when I associated with Razer and Gala, so, that time wasn't exactly well spent. I say that. I don't know. People can change. It's possible that they're much better people now than they were when I last associated with them. Okay, so you're essentially inventory management of some variety. Got it. So being able to watch streams is, like, I guess, what you do in between tasks. Cool, cool. The only person? Jesus, that's a lot of trust you've got. I was an incredible overperformer in my jobs at Amazon. I was #1 and #2 in the entire system for cycle and SRC counts. And apparently I had displayed such a good work ethic there that they like, normally they don't let one person be both a problem solve and an ambassador. An ambassador basically is just someone who trains other associates as well as doing their own stuff. And problem solve is like a completely different thing altogether, where, like, if there are issues in the warehouse with product, either because you've got damaged product or mislabeled product or product with the wrong barcode or product with a barcode that won't read, etc., shit like that. I'm sure that these are all concepts you're very familiar with, especially given your job duties. But yeah, they don't normally let somebody do both of those at the same time, and it makes sense because it gives rise to the possibility that I might be needed in 2 places at once. Holy shit. Okay. It's nice, but nah. I didn't dig the being an ambassador thing, though, so I ditched that pretty quickly. And given that it's Amazon, the reason that I hated it will probably surprise you a little. It's because, like, the training is done completely on a script. Like, completely on a script. So, like, whether you are a good trainer or not has nothing to do with it. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that that script was definitely 100% written by someone who does not understand English. So it was so poorly worded. Like, it was poorly worded to a point to where I was kind of trying to, like, ad-lib parts of it because I wanted it to sound like I made sense when I talked. And trying to do that on the fly was difficult with new material. It felt really, really, really janky. The highlights? I don't have any of the Saints Row Marathon archived, unfortunately. But those highlights are, like, some people, like, have openly told me, like, that is their favorite shit that I've ever done, is those highlights. Which, fair enough. Saints Row highlights are fucking great. Like, particularly, there's these side missions where you're doing insurance fraud, and basically, like, it gives you a button that you can push to just immediately ragdoll. And the goal is to, like, take as much damage while ragdolled as possible, and that accumulates money. And so the goal is to get as much money as possible by doing this within X amount of time, and if you get enough, then you get, like, the highest, you know, grade for that task. And, man, that highlight is fucking great. Saints Row 2, I think, is the best one from the original 3. But honestly, Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell, I kind of... Like, I realize that they're in the same formula and format, but I almost treat those like they're completely different games, in a good way. I love 4 and Get Out of Hell, and I kind of consider them to be, like I said, like, different from the rest of the series, but they're also, to me, kind of one game split into 2 different parts. But yeah, 2, I think overall 2 has got to be the best single entry in the series. And I say that, like, you know what's hilarious to me is how many people act like Saints Row 2 on PC is such a dumpster fire that it's basically unplayable, and, like, no. No, not at all. I mean, there were a few quirks that were kind of funny, sure. But, like, overall, nah, I had a good time. I quite enjoyed how janky it was. Like, there was, like, particularly, like, the most jank that was in Saints Row 2 on PC is, I feel like I remember there being 1 or 2 crashes. Now, granted that I played the game for, like, 22 hours, that's fine. And I think that, I say that because I think that there were that many crashes. I don't actually remember for a fact that there was. Because I might be wrong. I might be misremembering that, and there may not have been any crashes. But the most memorable bit of, like, Saints Row 2 jank, really, was just the fact that, like, sometimes cutscenes would get, like, misaligned, and, wait, what? And, like, oh, I know what that is. Objects would get, like, desynced. For instance, there's a scene very, very, very early in the game where you escape prison, and you do so on a boat, but where you are and where the boat is doesn't line up. Like, I think it was that I took off before the boat did. And genuinely, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Like, other people could be like, "Wah, that's janky and gross," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man! I live for this kind of stuff." I'm doing this to map the area, by the way. Oh yeah. I will definitely say mouse and keyboard helps an awful lot with the Saints Row series. I played and absolutely hated the first Saints Row on 360, and a lot of it was definitely because that game needed mouse and keyboard so fucking bad. Particularly on that, there was this mission, like, towards the end of one of the lines where you needed to, like, Dax was driving this car, and you needed to, like, fire rockets at people whilst in car. And that was already shit on a controller, but it gets even worse when you consider that Dax is a dog shit driver, and you'd think that the directions that he's driving should have been just scripted, but somehow no, he would just randomly deviate sometimes. One of those Saints Row highlights is that mission, and, like, he just randomly goes a direction he should not have gone, and then I get tagged with a rocket and blow up under where a airplane spawned in. It was such a mess, dude. The first game, I'm gonna just say it outright. The first Saints Row is just genuinely a bad game. Nothing interesting happens in it, and like maybe 2 funny things happen in it ever. But like, man, it's just, it's such a janky mess. It breaks for no reason. It moves really poorly. It's laggy as shit. Right, because, like, I mean, that's sort of what they were trying to do, is they were trying to make the first Saints Row... like, literally, it did start off as just a Grand Theft Auto knockoff. And I'm really, really, really happy that, like, in Saints Row 2, it sort of still had the I can't believe it's not GTA vibes, except in Saints Row 2, it got way fucking better. Like, in Saints Row 2, I would already say that it had exceeded the GTA series in general. Like, if I was going to choose literally any GTA or Saints Row 2, I would be playing Saints Row 2. Hands down. It's not even a question. And then Saints Row 3, like, I mean, yeah, again, it's still in the GTA clone range, but dude, like, that's the point where they were like, let's just be silly as hell. And then, like I said earlier, Saints Row 4 is basically not even the same game. I have described Saints Row 4 as what Crackdown 2 should have been. And I still believe that, even though, like, on... Okay, it's a Microsoft product, so now I don't fuck with it, but I will admit that on my revisit of Crackdown 2, it felt way better than I remembered, but it still wasn't as overall, like, it wasn't as overall good as the first one was. The first one has some fucking problems too, though. Part of me wonders, like, because Crackdown has, like, a relatively unique lock-on system, but part of me genuinely wonders if it would have been better off with with mouse and keyboard, or if it genuinely wouldn't help at all. I don't know. No, yeah, GTA 4 is fucking shit, dude. It's terrible. And like, okay, I hand on heart, I think that the best GTA is San Andreas. Even though, let's be real, the dialogue at the beginning of the game is insufferable. Like, it's one thing that they were using gangster lingo, right? But, like, they shellacked the dialogue in that stuff. It was so... Like, when you do something like that for flavor, you gotta use it like seasoning, right? You should only have so much salt and pepper before the entire dish is just salt and pepper. But, like, once it gets past that, GTA San Andreas, like, its gameplay is definitely the best in the series. Its controllability is the best in the series. I think the way that the map all comes together is the best in the series. GTA 5 very, very clearly tried to go back with that, like, that feel of how everything works. I don't understand some of the fucking choices that they made in 4. 4 baffles me. Driving in GTA 4 is like driving like, with tires made out of butter on roads slicked with fucking baby oil. Like, what the hell? Like, why did the driving feel so fucking terrible? Vice City definitely had a flavor. I think some of the things that really put San Andreas over the top for me is I really, really, really enjoyed the weapon proficiency stuff. I didn't like working for it, but I liked the fact that it was a thing. But I mean, like, that right there, those are the kinds of statements that give your opinions credibility, is like saying, like, look, I know that my preferred entry in the series isn't objectively the best designed one, but I still prefer it. Is, like, that shows the honesty of having the ability to say that your preferred piece isn't the best one, but you still prefer it, is that, like, there's credibility, there's honesty there. Whereas, like, unlike, you know, some people that refuse the notion that their favorite thing isn't the best thing ever. Like, I loathe when people get into that mindset. It'd be like if I was gonna tell you, like, God Hand is the best game ever, and if you think anything else, you're wrong. Like, who the fuck wants to talk to that guy? Nobody likes that guy. $21. Jesus, that is a lot of pellets. Oh, right. I guess, yeah, I'm gonna have to do my shotgun grind not too long from now. I don't know what this dude is doing, where he's at, why he's there. He should be over here. But yeah, like, genuinely, I can't think of a single point in time in Saints Row 2 where I wasn't having fun. Oh, you know what? Remember earlier I said I couldn't remember for a fact if there was a crash? Yeah, I can. In fact, there's 2 crashes that I can remember specifically. There was this spot that was, like, inside of, I guess, a mall or something. And for whatever reason, I had a crash there. And there's actually a highlight that I have where, like, in the highlight, I had discovered the music shop for the first time where you can just customize your soundtrack, which is such a fucking interesting and awesome feature. But, like, I was in the menu and I got interrupted by cops, and then I had a firefight with them, and then when I tried to enter a vehicle, it warped me back to where I was when I got interrupted by the cops while using the menu. And then I went through all of this shit trying to get out of the building, and then I got out of the building and got away. That was the highlight. But if memory serves, less than 10 minutes later, the game crashed. Like, I feel almost certain that that was very, very, very close in proximity to a game crash. But, like, funny enough, I can give a reasonable explanation for why that would have been, like, near a game crash, and it's because clearly the game had, like, put variables next to each other that shouldn't be. Like, my location was still somehow tied to the music shop. You think you had a Yo, on the console? Dude, okay, real talk, that shit is unforgivable in my opinion. Like, one of the main arguments that you get from console stands, the people that just refuse the notion of playing on PC, is like, you don't get crashes on console like you do on PC. Literally, the Xbox One version of Dead Rising 2 is made out of crashes. Like, that is its primary feature, is that it crashes goddamned constantly. Dead Rising 2 has crashes almost as often as it has zombies. Like, that's how fucking much it crashes. And, like, I have a particular hatred for this fact because I really, really, really want to play and enjoy Dead Rising 2 on my Xbox Series X. But unfortunately, the 360 version, you know, the one that works, isn't backwards compatible. But the shitty broken one is. Boo hiss. I think people that make the argument in favor of consoles over PC, saying like, oh, well, you know, you don't get crashes on consoles like you do on PC, I think the people that are making those arguments are used to, like, console gaming, you know, of yesteryear. In the Xbox Classic, GameCube, and PlayStation 2 era and before that. Because, for the most part, they're right. For the most part, you pretty much never really saw game crashes back then. I mean, on, like, ultra-rare occasion, sometimes, you'd, like, run into a combination of factors that weren't predicted. But, like, let's be real, back then it was extremely uncommon, but once you get into the 360, PS3 era, really? So Dead Rising 1 crashed on the OG 360, huh? See, I didn't know that. I never really got enough time to play Dead Rising 1 on the console, but, like, my main complaint with Dead Rising 1 on PC is that because it was released after Dead Rising 2 was on PC, by quite some time, it actually requires, like, video modes and shit that uses more up-to-date hardware than Dead Rising 2 does. And I always found that really annoying because it highlights a type of laziness in the industry that I really, really hate. It's like I had a situation where, like, I had a really fucking old laptop, and that laptop could play Dead Rising 2 without a problem. No issues at all. Dead Rising 2 would play, it wouldn't lag, it wouldn't crash. Dead Rising 1 wouldn't even attempt to open, because it required better hardware than my laptop has. Well, had. That laptop doesn't even exist anymore, bruh. Well, he's dead. He's not dead. That guy. Now he's dead. I survived. Oh right, this is just damage goop. It's not instant death goop. Guys, I will admit, though, I'm with those people in the fact that I very much miss the era where... Like, this is the old man in me talking, sure. But goddamn do I miss being able to just put a game in a console and have it goddamn play it. Just play it. Just play the fucking game, please. None of this, like, forced downloads shit. None of this, like, whoops, it needs an update first. None of that. None of that. Just fucking play it. And, like, I don't know how many times I have heard the story of, like, oh, man, you know, I had a work day where I was going to be in later than usual, so I was like, okay, cool. I'll get up a little early, get in a nice, like, you know, 2.5 hour session of this game before work. Hell yeah. And then they'll, you know, get up hot and primed for the game. And then you get the double whammy of, oh, the console needs to update. And then it forces the console update on you. Oh, but also because the console updated, the game also needs to update. And then that pair of updates don't finish until like 3 hours into your shift. Like, fucking... Like, I cannot describe how long I've gone without, like actively avoiding updates on my Nintendo Switch because I don't give a shit about anything it could possibly be trying to give me. You're not good at RTS? Ah, that's fair. I'm not sure that there were any good Command & Conquers in the 360 era. Command & Conquer 2 Yuri's Revenge was hot. But past that, I'll be honest, like, Command & Conquer is one of those series, like the original Tomb Raiders, I just genuinely do not understand how it survived its original series. Like, long enough to get, you know, better games, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did Tomb Raider, any of them, make enough sales to warrant sequels? But, like, I feel the same way as much as I love Yuri's Revenge. I do. That is a genuinely good RTS, in my opinion. I do not understand how that series made enough sales in, like, the Tiberian Sun days to warrant there being more of them. At the foot of badness. You know, hold on. Yeah, EA's nasty touch is definitely involved in the series, yeah. Trying to remember how this Undead Pack stuff... I want to say that this is one of those ones where when something... Okay. Always poison. When depleted, sends out 3 skulls that seek out and damage nearby enemies. When depleted, though. That's not worth it. Like, see, I can openly and honestly talk about things that I was a big fan of before I knew it was tied to evil bullshit. Like, I mean, I used to love Legend of Zelda stuff. Before, well, I mean, okay. In my defense, I had to play quite deeply into Breath of the Wild before I found that the game genuinely contains humor regarding the rape of men. Fun! What a great thing to make a joke out of in my child's game, more or less. Family-friendly content. But, and, like, I was really hoping at first that there was not going to be any of that shit in Tears of the Kingdom, but Nintendo has, like, egregiously shown their ass on this whole Power World thing, so I'm just done with their nonsense. Where is this guy? Hey, guy. Boom. Well, okay. So I played the first Ratchet and Clank quite deeply into the game. I didn't beat it, but we got to a point to where the enemy design was just like every enemy was just deeply, deeply, deeply irritating to deal with. And because I didn't see that does that like the quality of design I just figured was going to continue to go further and further downhill. So I stopped, and that was, you know, I made the decision that I was going to give the next game in the series a shot, because surely it had to improve on the next game. But then the next game starts. There was the intro stage was mostly fine. But like shortly after you get out of the intro stage, there's like a planet area where the view is like way far above you, and it's almost like Tetrasphere style, where the planet you're on is like you can see the curvature of it in all directions from directly above, and that level of camera fuckery makes it very, very, very difficult to focus on what you're doing, and it's just like these people are just way, way, way into their fucking gimmicks. And I'm not into their gimmicks. I don't have any interest in fucking around with all of these gimmicks at all. And around that is when I bounced out of ooh, Echo Vampire. That's actually pretty nice. Here, we're gonna use that for now. How many more dark kills do I need? 339. But yeah, that was when I gave up on the Ratchet and Clank series. And like honestly, seeing what Bongo was dealing with, and that like walking around the inside of a sphere where the camera was like literally inside of Ratchet's fecking skull. Like you could genuinely have seen the individual flakes of his dandruff from where that camera was. And it's like, shit, man, like, why? Why is it like this? Why would you ever allow this? And I realize that there's some PSP port stuff going on, but son of, like, you can only excuse that so much. Like, even on a PSP screen, like, why would you want that much of the screen chewed up with your character? Yeah, size matters, yeah. This isn't skippable, by the way. But, like, Ratchet and Clank is one of those series that, like I always feel like when Backlog comes up with a game that actually has quite a notable legacy, right? So, like, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Kuon, Haunting Ground. You know, stuff that, like, people genuinely talk about because people genuinely liked them, because, like, you know, like they're legend in terms of either popularity or just being notable in general. When those kinds of games come up in Backlog, they kind of give me a bit of anxiety because, like, I mean, you've experienced me, I'm brutally honest. I have, like, Bendy and the Ink Machine is on deck for Backlog right now. And I have an immense amount of anxiety to actually play it, because, like, I know that there's an expectation. Like, people that are, like, waiting for me to try it on can't wait for me to like, oh man, no, yeah, it's great, blah blah blah. But, like, there's a really good chance that I'm gonna be like, eh. And then that's gonna spawn conversations that I don't want to have. Which I typically blow off, but it still puts me in a position where I have to blow off conversations that I don't want to have. Instead of just being able to say, oh no, I haven't played it. But yeah, when it came to the Ratchet and Clank series, like okay, Jak and Daxter, I don't understand why it had the legacy that it had at first, because genuinely it was basically just Crash Bandicoot with, like, a more epic story. Like, that's really what it was. Like, you just gotta be honest about what the content is. The platforming was basically that. The attacks you had were basically that. Jak and Daxter, I know, like, over the course of its series evolved to have, like, racing games and gun combat and all of this other shit. I know. But, like, I don't see how it got there, and none of them felt particularly interesting. So I still don't understand why it had the legacy of popularity that it did. And I feel the same way about the Ratchet and Clank series. I do not understand how people were so enamored by it. I mean, like, popular, like, see, here's the thing. It's sort of just luck of the draw what games do and do not get popular. Like, if you're a major developer like Rocksteady or Rockstar in general, like, you know, if you have a legacy of developing good games in the past, right? GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. On the tail of those, why would you not think that GTA 4 was going to be hot? And just based on that, before word gets out that GTA 4 is not hot, it got a shitload of sales. But, like, even if a game like Borderlands, for instance, I would argue was a good game. It was an excellent experience at the time, but realistically, it is just sort of luck of the draw that they managed to get any real notice and become, like, they didn't have anything else to drive sales. So it was just on whether or not people noticed this game and were willing to try it out. Anyways, let's get these collectibles. Like I said before, like, I'm not going to genuinely hunt for these things because I've done that before. So we're gonna... Oh, that's insight. Yeah, we have to go all the way back here. God damn it. You know what? I don't genuinely need this. I don't even know why I thought that I was gonna... It's fine. Whatever. But, like, I say all that to point out that just because a game isn't popular doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, I have found that most of the games that I really, 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 really love weren't popular, and not necessarily because they weren't good, but because they just never got noticed like that. Like, I can give you the exact reason why God Hand wasn't popular when it came out. Most people didn't even know the fucker existed. And it's because Capcom made the, like, intentional choice not to market it in the States. Asura's Wrath, before it even came out, people were talking shit about it. And I don't remember why they were, like, raw dogging it at the beginning, but I do know that after the DLC came out, they were giving it shit for, oh, the true ending is DLC locked, which is like not necessarily true. It's just people are dumb. I think it really just all falls on that, is people are dumb. I like Samurai Western. I love that game. I'm not even sure I've ever heard of anybody that genuinely knows about that game out in the wild. For a second, I thought that didn't hit her. Why did it react so slowly? Oh, I'm not even going like the right direction for this. But yeah, popularity is just a luck of the draw kind of thing. I have noticed a lot of times where like popular game is not very good. I mean, like, take into account something like Call of Duty. Extremely popular, fucking terrible video game. What's more is like very redundant to very terrible video game. Call of Duty is like the sports trash of the first-person shooter world. The majority of them are pretty bad, yeah. I mean, like, Obscure 1 and 2 are, I'd say, very average. But, like, they're not bad, but at the same time I had played through the first game, so I didn't have, like, any real patience for the idea of wanting to play through the second one. Haunting Ground is okay, but again, like for me, for a horror game to really hit, it has got to hit. It has got to be absolutely fire, and I have to be, like, totally down for it, you know what I mean? It can't be just okay. I'm the same way about platformers. Like, it's, like, I don't typically like that format, so you've got to give me something to really be into, or it's just not gonna work. Silent Hill 2, I think, is a great game. I didn't want to play it through again, but it's a great game. Silent Hill 3, I didn't like any of the characters in that game, so I didn't really give a fuck what was happening to any of them. Like, there's a point in time where it's like, ooh, a shock plot twist that this character dies, and I'm just like, eh. Whoops, he's dead now. Oh, whoops. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. And then you've got, what, Rule of Rose? Rule of Rose, I, like, never, to me, never really felt like a horror game. It just felt like a creepy game. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's how it felt to me. It just didn't feel scary. It just felt icky. Really? Hey! Where am I looking here? Oh, I'm not even on the right building. Yeah. And we'll come back to that when we come back to that. Oh, I think I know. Huzzah. Okay. So it's over here somewhere. There it is. So wait, have I got... Yeah, I've got the lore scrolls, we're good. Honestly, considering the confusion I had there at the end, I think that there's a really, really good chance that if I had not had my slip-ins done, I don't think I would have made that in time. I think the last Toy Story that I've watched was... I don't know, probably 3. Versus pass. I mean, that's Disney for you. They have become... Well, look, Disney's always been kind of a shit, but, like... Once upon a time, there was a time. But I mean, like, you know, what are you gonna do? Disney was, like, pretty much always that kind of company that would sell us on, you know, genuinely good human concepts, like taking care of your fellow men and being there for each other and sharing and kindness and, like, meanwhile being not those people at all. You're gonna play PS2 at work? What? You can do that? Oh, right. I forgot that this thing existed at all. Even though it's, like, literally right there. It's super easy to fuck up and miss because it just off work. Okay. I mean, a reminder that I used to work at an arcade and, like, playing video games was, like, very, very encouraged. I brought in my PlayStation... Well, yeah, Free Play Arcade. That's where I used to work. Back in Texas. Yeah, I was an arcade tech. I fixed games. Very, very, very old games. Lots of retro games, lots of pinball. It was a really fucking good job. Oh yeah, it was a fucking great job. Like, there was a point in time when I just straight up brought in a PlayStation 3 and the employees and I, we were all like fucking just playing console games together. It was great. Oh wait, there's a mission out on a map now, I think. I don't remember where though. God damn it. No? Maybe this is a thing after you beat it? Whatever, we're gonna bonk this guy. But yeah, we were, as techs, we were very much encouraged to, like, you know, go through the arcade, play the games, be involved with the, like, be involved with the customers on the fun level, you know? Like, I had at least one shift where more than half of my shift was participate in a pinball tournament. But I'm like hyper trash at pinball, so I was just there. And like part of that is so that if something goes wrong with one of the pinball tables, you're already there and available to work on it. You're not fucking around with something not pinball related. I had another shift, well, probably multiple shifts, where I was doing the same kind of thing with, what is that game called? God, what is that game called? It was this, like, this team game where there was, like, a bunch of, like, drones and a beehive, and, like, there were multiple different ways to win the game. I swear to God, if somebody said the name of the game at me, I would know it immediately. But whatever, I had multiple shifts that ended up just being like, play this game with customers a lot. I was a really talented runner in that game. I was one of the ones grabbing the. It's like the multiple ways of winning. There, like you can drive a really slow snail, and like there's a snail placed between two goals. And if either team manages to drive the snail to the goal, then that team wins. One of the players is the queen. If the queen gets killed 3 times, that team loses. And there's one of the other ways to win. Well, I think it's the last way to win, if memory serves. But the last way to win is to collect enough. I don't know what the word for the stuff is. Nectar, spores, whatever. You get enough of those into your base, and there's like a fixed number of spots for it. I was quite good at running the juice into the base and winning that way. Oh, I did get it. I didn't expect to get it. Yeah, there's a whole lot of different styles of music in here. If you can think of any games that have fucking really good music, let me know. And I will put those in the list, and I will go through them and see if they fit the vibe. Aha! I did not think that that was going to work out. That's also not at all the way you're supposed to get down here. I didn't hate the portion that I played, but I did eventually get to the point to where it just didn't feel like it had me invested anymore. I wish it had more like just straight up combat sections, if I'm honest. Because like it felt like it had decent combat concepts, but it focused way too much on platforming, I think. I assume that Bunga completed that game, right? Like, did the plot ever do anything that, you know, flirted with the idea of being interesting? Something tells me it didn't. Yeah, like it shouldn't be... Like the Boomy shouldn't be like primary damage or anything, but I could see using it sort of like you would in Zelda games, right? The boomerang is more as a nuisance than it is anything else. What the fuck? Game, what are you doing? I assume he did because he has an unhealthy relationship with feeling like he has to. I say that knowing good and damn well I used to have the same thing going on. Once upon a time, I would force myself to complete games that I absolutely hated. I'm not gonna lie, things got way better once I got myself out of that mindset. Wow, so even without like a movement buff of any kind, it's really just not that hard to just skip all of this. What the fuck? Okay, that's funny. Yeah. You monster. I went to look and see if I could find music from Prism. Because, like, I was genuinely going to go through it and be like, is any of this not awful? But I can't even find, like, recordings of it. Or at least I couldn't my usual sources of music. Nothing listed in those. I imagine, given like how underdeveloped that game is, that there's probably like a total of like 6 tracks in the entire game. A good majority of silence. Oh, good. So it could just be that there's no goddamn music. I'll tell you another game that I really, really, really wanted to find the music for and couldn't is Dolmen. Now, Dolmen has, like, no music during its, like, basic gameplay, but it does have boss music. Which means that there's, like, maybe a total of 8 tracks in the whole game. which I would argue is still 8 tracks that I wanna look at. Still wanna see if they're any good. Short tracks in the cutscenes. That usually is the worst. Oh, Dolman. I don't know, I just, I can't find recordings of it anywhere, and I don't see, like, any mentions anywhere of there being, like, an actual soundtrack for it. Genuinely, like, it's gonna remain in the list until I run into it, and I'll probably run into those tracks somewhere at some point. I could always Shazam, well, that's probably what I'll try doing next, is I'll, like, Shazam that shit and see if there is any listing of it somewhere else. Oh, there it is. Map that out. What we're about to grab is the last collectible. The very, very last one. Fish. Yeah, that's the one that you just can't help but grab. Oh, right. I remember this. Shit. I shouldn't have did that. Oh, here we go. I was too tickled by the fact that I was able to just skip this area. So, I liked the Tony Hawk series quite a bit when I was younger, but that's Activision. I also used to be very, very good at it. To this day, I think the best entry in the series is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I don't think any of the newer ones ever really rose to that level of quality. Skate Heaven was the shit. Okay, can I not just see the overworld map? Whatever. So I'm pretty sure that somewhere there's a way to see... Wait, what am I missing here? Son of a bitch. At the very least, only on PS1, so believe it or not, my initial experience with the series was the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the Nintendo 64. Which was, I would argue, like, gameplay-wise, it's better than the PlayStation 1 experience. And it's just because it maintains frame rate way better. It's like the gameplay is smoother. But for the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the ultimate experience is Dreamcast. And if memory serves, I also played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on Dreamcast as well. Boink. What life bar? I don't need to move, you need to move. Well, that was pretty easy. And now to set this up with my patented I don't want to deal with this shit technique. So the only way to speed this up is to hold the down arrow on the keyboard. I have these headphones that are way too tight, so I can't use them. But what I can do is I can put it where the earpiece actually holds down the down arrow. Oh no! There we go. Anyways, 1 second. So even though I have the music turned off, this music plays. And this music is heavily copyright matched. Flagged as hell. Anyways. You know what, actually I'm just gonna go on the BRB screen because I'm gonna go get a drink anyway. So, Hey, I'm really glad that you just mindlessly walked forward. I can't believe it. Well, I was trying to be helpful. Well done. What are they doing? Are they just like yeah, they're just going back up to the upper level to jump back down again. I've never seen this before. There they go again. What is happening? Sure. Yo, this segment of this game just keeps on giving.
Hey, your friend's hanging with Moxie to join his family. Grab one of those monsters we just finished and get your ass moving.
What?
No.
That was actually pretty funny.
I wouldn't call it mindless. I have a brain.
Every time he does a throw, it's that same one, and I input it in time, and it gives me nothing. So now I gotta figure out which direction is the direction to go to make sure I pick up all the shit. Remember when I told you I did that twice in a row? So about that.
What the shit happened?
No going too fast. Oh, okay. Alright. What a great start. I'm just gonna run me over. Rouge is gonna have a seizure.
Guess that was all right.
This is fine. This is exactly how it should be.
This fucking game, man.
What? Why are you alive? Yo, something like that happened earlier too. What the fuck is going on? Where are you going, Dex?
We gotta drop those bitches.
What? What? Okay. Sure thing, lady. What's up? The fuck out of here.
Boring.
Oh, look, that guy down there, he got dizzy and dropped his bat. How very unfortunate for him. Whoops. Peace out. Oh my god. What? Is he up here? What? Where did he go? And how is he back?
Nice.
I'm gonna give a very confused. Because like if it's sometimes it works, that's not good enough. Yeah, no, it doesn't work at all. So this weapon just sucks.
You just saved my damn life, and I am dead.
What the fuck? If I like point out the wrong dude. I don't know, you got this dude just kind of hanging out in a park with a meat cleaver and he's just dancing around with it, and this dickhead's got a big ass knife. It's always the dude in the suit. I mean, I didn't actually ask for answers, but thanks, I guess. I love how this guy got stuck on this pole. He ain't going nowhere. I got yelled at. Jiggly's on head. I think that we can do that. Hold on. Come here.
I guess it's a good thing I'm not wearing them, bro. Otherwise, this might be slightly difficult. Come here.
Yep.
You're welcome. You asked for this. Just want to point that out. How does it feel?
It feels like there's boobies on my head.
Yeah. He's happy. They're both happy.
Give the people what they want. It's not like a pillow. Like, okay, here's the thing. Pillows are not normally 80 pounds.
My boobs are not 80 pounds.
No, your upper torso is... Look, okay. If it was just your boobs, no, they're not 80 pounds. But when you factor in all the other weight that was on my head just now, it's not just your boobs, okay?
Well, no, because I had to, like, lean into it. And so you were getting all over.
Yeah.
But
No, Discord called my girlfriend fat.
yeah, we joined a channel and it was like Big Vivian and Andromeda.
No, you joined my Pokemon Go Grapevine channel. And
I said I joined the channel and it said Big Vivian and Andromeda showed up. And it's like, you calling me fat, Discord? We can take this offline.
She thick? A little bit.
I mean,
You're not
yeah.
you're not thick.
I'm not denying that I am. I just, I don't know, it's a weird descriptor.
No, it's not.
It is to me, okay? It's weird.
Your face is weird.
But so is yours.
Yeah.
Especially your bald head.
It's not bald. I mean, I don't give a fuck if it is. It's just, come on, if you're gonna describe something, be accurate.
Fine, with your buzzed head.
There you go.
Good luck for what?
Wow. Yo, what the fuck? I need to highlight that. I don't know how she got airborne right there, but okay. Dude, she just ended up airborne again. Wow. That comparison falls super flat for me. Okay, well, fuck you, I guess. Hello. So I'm not going to talk to the... Well, yeah, well, I was going to say I'm not going to talk to him yet because some of the loot might be in that middle area, and that middle area is no longer a platform in a second. As far as I know, the loot will not fall. So it becomes collecting... Like, it makes collecting it very, very difficult. Yeah, I drifted too much. Seriously? Can you genuinely not reach? God, that's dumb. Anyway. That name doesn't sound familiar. Boniface's Soul of the Champion. I've never heard of this one at all. It's only worth 5k? What? Okay, well. Whatever, man. Anyways, now it's going to start me on the path of Chaos Mode, which we may as well get into. So right now I can't even get Ascended equipment, so there's not really a reason to fuck around with. What is that, Barrel Maker? There's not really a reason for me to care all that deeply about literally any of the loot that drops. $9 million? Yeah. We'll go ahead and max out my carrying capacity. It's gonna tell me to kneel. We're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna haul ass over to the SDUs. There we go. Oh, I actually sorta had to come over here anyway. I forgot about this. Sure. Yeah, that's pretty much always what we want the shield to be. Now see, when this says active, I don't think that this is ever really counted as active, but we'll see, I guess. Okay, yeah, those are all good except for, well, a weapon that I'm probably not going to keep anyway, so I don't know why I went apeshit on that one, but whatever. Now, Izzy is going to give me the ability to respec completely. I want to look at this, so... Because I am going to do it, but I'm also going to put back what I have. I'm pretty sure that that's where everything was. Where did I get this from? Oh, I just got it as a reward, I guess. Sure would be nice if it was, you know, useful. Like, oh right. We'll be looking for another ring worth keeping. I do quite like that almost everything that you could possibly need is in this room. I kind of wish that an SDU table was in there as well, but you can't have everything, I guess. Oh, that one's in here too. Come on. I'm trying to remember where this one's skull is. I think it's under somewhere. Please grab the fucking ledge, dude. Ah, there it is. Oh wow, those are singles. I gotta say, in the tutorial, that's not worth giving a shit about at all. Okay. For some reason, I thought that statue was down there somewhere. I'm gonna do them just because I know where they are. Well, I know where most of them are. That one isn't here. This one is not here. Party time. Knuckle the Dazzler. That one's not here. That's the first one I ever noticed. I mean, those are genuinely not worth it in the tutorial, which we're still in, but at the same time, I don't know. My thought process is, you know, practice. Continue to use the information so that you continue to retain the information. So these machines sell legendaries. They're usually bad. But two things that I should gluttony of the carver. Huh. Two things I should still be looking for right now is ring and armor. We're gonna dump what I've got into rings for the moment. Brilliant. Okay, so I don't hate that actually. Alright, time to take on these trials. Wow. Literal crap. Crap in all directions. All elites all the time. That's a rune for a raid boss. This is one of the maps that I'm genuinely not super well versed on where all of the on where all the locks are. I'm pretty sure if it was here, one of the skulls would be here. I'm pretty sure we just ran past where one of them would be. And I think the last one is up here. I'll be honest, I don't even know why, especially at this point, why the hell I'm even looking at the buff pedestals. They're not necessary. Not like in the fucking slightest, bro. Yo, what's up, Kaze? How's it going? Oh, god damn it. I have no idea which one of those enemies actually got wrecked. Let's see. I know off the top that one of them is here and it's not present. You know, that would be a weird way to say it, and yet it works. Anybody would understand what you meant. Well, anybody who bothers to put any thought to anything would have understood what you meant. I always forget that this skull is over here and not up on the building. The new character is doing very, very well, actually. In all likelihood, this character is going to be way stronger than my Berserker is, and that makes me happy, but it also kind of makes me sad. I'm gonna miss those hot runs with my Zerker, you know what I mean? Admittedly, I'm not even sure what in the hell was going on for most of that. I think that this is that really big map where... no, maybe it's not. God, my inclination to reload is a problem. I don't think you can actually get up there. Yo, I'm so used to that melee symbol being something that I'm, like, actively looking for. That, like, when I saw it just now, I was like, oh yeah, grab the... Oh, wait. Wait. Wrong. Don't do that. But yeah, Kaze, how you doing? How's things? How's life? Oh, the extra stages are total pricks too. Yeah. Especially the one in the mine, because that, like, okay, I'll warn you ahead of time. The one that's in the mine is not at all like any of the rest of the stages. It is very sequenced. You have to kill specific groups of enemies in a very specific order, or the next one will not spawn. It's extremely irritating, and until you have that route down, that stage is gonna feel like shit. Probably because that stage is genuinely shit. Yeah, it's not the best single-handed weapon, but it's, like, honestly, it gives you everything that you need from a single-handed weapon, and just the fact that it is a single-handed weapon is, all you really need it to be. The jump attack on single-handed weapons is very, very picky, yeah. Like, the hitbox is tiny, and it has nothing to do with where the visual of the weapon actually goes. That's something that, like, I wish I had better advice for that particular attack than just get used to it. It's weird, but that's literally as good as it's gonna get, is just get used to it because it's weird. So you said 9 and 13. I'm trying to remember which ones those are. Where are those placed? I know that, like, one of the extra stages takes you back to the outside of the mansion, and that stage is, like, ludicrously bomb-heavy. I mean, realistically, the extra stages are just extremely bomb-heavy in general. That's sort of the point. See, I don't like survival mode, but I survive it long enough for it to just get tiring. Like, I love the idea of survival mode in it, don't get me wrong. The idea is a good idea. I just don't think it turned out very good. So, funny enough, there's like a pre-release demo version of the game that is basically the exact same game, but it has that indicator on its map for some reason. I uploaded that version of the ISO for Cosmic because he speedruns the shit. Or well, he rarely does runs, but he does theoretically do runs. And legally speaking, I don't know if terms of service applies to the comments that I just made, given that theoretically what I just did was discuss piracy, except in reality he already has that game, and so does the person I'm talking to. Yep. That's why the strategy that gets used during the run, like, it's pretty uncommon for me to run into anybody that has any awareness of Samurai Western, yeah. But sometimes I do run into people that are familiar with the game, and when they see... Like, I had somebody pop in at random when I was streaming it a long time ago, and I don't know if they'd been lurking for a bit, but the first thing that they said was, "Wow, I never thought I'd see somebody make Rando their bitch." And he's like, "Yep, that is certainly a sight to see." Yeah, that super attack is the right stuff, for sure. They're comfy. Are they? Are you sure? Maybe you have me confused with someone else. I'm Xana. I complain a lot. The one complaint that I do genuinely have about streaming Sam West, though, is that while I'm actually playing the stages, it's kind of impossible to actually look at chat. Accessory routing. I do genuinely need to learn that. When the currently equipped gun is low on ammo, that's never gonna happen. Yeah, he's there. Haven't got anything I can do about it. I mean, I'll be honest, in the full playthrough, now that I understand more about him, like, I understand things a little bit better about him, and he's not that bad. I still don't care for him much, but he's not that bad. Every so often, I'll, like, turn around and prepare to, like, kill an enemy and notice that, like, he's over there and he did it. And that's just weird. I was stuck behind something for a second. Right, it's made out of solid crab. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't remember where this one's skull is. It's right there in plain view, and I've got to stop doing that. I mean, he does a number of different poison attacks. He's got a melee attack. He spits a little poison bloop at people. If I had put a skill point in it, he has a poisonous fart. Because, of course, we had to put a fart in the game. Every game needs a fart, by golly. Womp. I think that might be it. I do think it's just the two attacks, but it, like, there's another skill point that you can put in where if I did go down for some reason, the mushroom can revive me. But honestly, I think the most important thing that it does when it's present is that it distracts enemies. So sometimes you'll have enemies focused a little bit too much on the mushroom and not at all focused on you, and that can be really helpful. You know what? I'm not going to be too careful about it. If I see loot, I'm going to pick up the loot. Once I'm full, I'm not going to be picking up loot anymore. And that's mostly just me saying, I don't want to deal with it. This one is here. I think it's on this side. Yes, sir. Honestly, the companion that I recall being like genuinely impressed by how badass it's capable of being is there's the Clawbringer has a tiny little wyvern that flies around doing lightning and fire attacks. And the lightning, if memory serves, actually has like a decent amount of AoE, and it looked like it was pretty effective in general. Like, I recall thinking, like, that's a lot more damage than I would have expected out of something like that. And what's more is it's a little flying thing, so it's never really in the way. And on top of that, it was seeking out enemies really effectively. Like, I can totally see why Berserker Clawbringer is a common combination. I mean, I don't remember it ever, like, hunting down enemies that I couldn't find, but... it was definitely doing its job. It was doing a very, very good job. Whereas, it's like, the judgment that I made about this mushroom initially, what it was is, so there's a tab on your character progression sheet that involves, like, doing things as various different classes, right? Like, there's 2 different ones for the Spore Warden, and those 2 different tasks are to hit 50 enemies, I think within, or not 50 enemies, but hit 50 times within 8 seconds with the Barrage skill, which I did in this playthrough accidentally. I'll take it. The other one is to get, I think it's 1,000 kills while scoped. So this is technically scoped. Or you could basically say iron sights. It doesn't really matter. So long as you're holding the right mouse button down, you are fulfilling the condition. And I understand why that's the other objective for the Spore Warden. It's because of this skill right here. While aiming down sights, you get a buff. Whereas for Clawbringer, there was one that involves killing a badass enemy with a specific skill. That one was kind of a dickhead to get to work. What the hell? Anyway, or like, I'm trying to remember, what was it with Spell Shot? I think it was to keep a buff going for a certain amount of time. With Berserker, one of them is to keep Enraged up for 25 seconds, I think. And Graveborn had another one It's not that bad because barrage is 7 projectiles, and when it hits an enemy, it bounces off of that enemy and automatically hits another enemy. And sometimes it will bounce off of that enemy back to the original target. So one out of if I was to fire one and all 7 hit, and then they all bounce to another thing, and then theoretically could bounce again, you could in one get 21 hits. And it's a 3 charge ability, and when you kill things with it, it feeds back charge. So you could, theoretically, I think you could do it up to 5 times in a row. So, like I said, this playthrough, I did it accidentally. It just happened. I wasn't even trying to do it, I was just playing the game. And like, I was already thinking, you know, I remember that this is a thing, but I'll deal with that some other time. And then it just happened, so apparently it's not that fucking tough. Man, Nasty Spill is crazy good. But yeah, for most classes, there's 2 different objectives to do with each class. But then there's Blight Color, which doesn't have any. Why doesn't it have any? I don't know. I think Blight Color may have been a DLC class. That's like the only thing that I've got in terms of like a decent guess as to why it just wouldn't have any objectives. Oh, finish with melee damage. You know, I'm not even sure that I'm capable of that because most of what happens with... I'm not worried about this. Most of what happens with my melee is the resulting damage over time. I clearly wasn't even paying attention to that. Somebody's got to jump the shark. Oh, wow, I didn't even look for the locks, man. What am I, stupid or something, bro? Okay. Those enemies are, well, I guess they don't exist now, but they were stuck in the wall. Once I'm done with dart kills, though, we're just gonna be... Ah, there we go. We're just gonna be done with this gun entirely. Bro, what the fuck? That room was completely covered in shit. Alright, have a good one. I need to check my spell and dark kills progress. Yeah, it's not here. I'm not worried about their dumb healing vengeance. A phooey on your face. You know, it's interesting to me when like a Poppin' or Beatmania track pops up that at first I'm thinking, wait a minute, is this Say No More? Of course it's not. But it could have been. Sounds like it a little bit. Actually, give me that one back. Believe it or not, the reload speed is relevant for the bandit weapons. You know what? Let's stop doing the elite rounds until we get up into the ascended range. So I'm not super familiar with the locks in this stage. I know that I started off pretty close to one. Over here. Usually, like, a great way to find the skull is to just stand next to the thing and look around. Oh, hey, I see one over there as well. That doesn't always work, but in a shocking number of cases, it does. Right, okay. Bruh. I started taking it out on the frickin' Flora. Genuinely, I kind of thought that if I just removed all, like, more visual noise, I would notice it. That's what I was thinking. Oh, right. My gut reaction is to just make everything elite. And again, the only reason I'm interacting with the status upgrade totems at all is because I would quite prefer this to go faster. Good. I swear sometimes I think the mushroom walks right where I'm looking so that he can interrupt me looking at loot. Which I gotta be honest, I don't know why I'm looking at any of it, to be completely like straightforward. The only thing that I need from the loot is I'm gonna sell that shit. That's it. Oh, you know what? I don't even... Like, I didn't even look at what it was. Was I supposed to destroy a statue again? Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, it's melee. I could probably do that. See, my thing is I don't know if that right there counted or not. I guess it did. If the lightning strikes count, which is good, that obviously shows that they thought about what they were doing when they made that effect. But since that counts, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Dipshit. Bruh. Oh, dude, these melee objectives are super free and I keep on just not doing them. Yo, he actually dropped his peg leg. I'm honestly surprised. Oh wait. No. No. You know, I do wonder what causes this. Game's a bit of a buggy mess. I don't know. Meh. Alright. Let's switch games. I can't wait to have an issue with my thingies being cold, because I want to play some God. I genuinely want to, so let's do it! Anyways, I'll be back. Good. What is happening? I don't give a shit about any of the rest of the content of this game.